Hello, hello. Welcome or welcome back. I'm Jean. I've been an English teacher since 2019, and this video is going to teach you a few of the different ways native speakers greet each other. When I say greet, I mean to say some version of hello. Your textbook or course probably taught you to say this. Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thanks. And you? In this video, I'm going to teach you the variety of ways native speakers have this conversation. So let's get started. Here are a few different ways to greet someone. You can say, hello. Yes, it's like your textbook, but this is a classic greeting. It works for all situations: formal, casual, good for your boss and your friends. For me, I use it a couple of different ways. I double it to greet you all. I don't just say hello, I say hello, hello. This isn't common, but I like it. I try to give a warm, welcoming feeling. I will usually greet my friends or students by saying hello like this. Hello. So you don't have to simply say hello. You can change the tone. Another option is hey. This is a little more casual, good for friends and family and colleagues you are comfortable with. You can also change the tone. You could make it longer, which makes it more playful, like this. Hey. You could also repeat it. Hey, hey, hey. Or if you're not feeling very energetic, you could say it like, hey. A lot of emotion can be shown in one word. Another option is hi. The same patterns apply to hi. It's more casual, like hey, and you can change the tone to fit your personality and mood. In general, I would say that using hello is more common with strangers, whereas hey and hi are more familiar, so more common with friends. However, tone is probably the most important factor. You also have the option of saying good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Here's my opinion about these. I think good morning is the most common. You can use this as a greeting anytime from midnight to noon. For afternoon, until about 5 or 6 p.m., you can say good afternoon. In my experience, good afternoon is pretty formal. That might not be true for everyone. I feel the same way about good evening. It feels very formal to me. This might be a difference in generations, so it's possible that people older than me are comfortable using good afternoon and good evening casually. But for people around my age or younger, it might feel more formal. In any case, it's not wrong to use these as a greeting. You can use good evening anytime after 5 or 6 p.m. Now, you might be wondering, how can I greet a group of people? Excellent question. You can take any of these greetings we talked about already. Hello, hi, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and add everybody or everyone. This works for everyone, everybody. They are interchangeable. If you're talking to a group of men and women, you could say guys, like, hey guys. If you're talking to a group of just women, you could say ladies, like, hey ladies. Now, because I am from the South, It's very common for me to use y'all. Y'all is a contraction of you all. Using y'all isn't just a Southern thing. It's becoming so popular that most people use it. So we've talked about hello, hi, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, everyone, guys, ladies, and y'all. Did you get all that? Well, I hope you're taking notes because now we're going to talk about different ways to say, how are you? First of all, there are 3 different ways to say, how are you? You can say each word clearly, like, how are you? But another way is to contract how and are into hower. So, how are you sounds like, how are you? How are you? It's important to note that how are you isn't formal or informal. It's a common contraction of how are you? Another way is to put more emphasis on you, like this. How are you? How are you? This is more common, I think, when someone asks you first, then you reply. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? Putting more emphasis on the you gives back a feeling of real interest. Another way is to change the you to a more casual ya. So, how are you might sound like this. How are ya? How are ya? Another way is to say, how's it going? Or how's it going? This is a more casual way to ask someone, how are you? Another casual way is to say, how you doing? How you doing? There's a few things happening in this phrase. One, we are dropping the R. So we aren't saying, how are ya doing? We're saying, how ya doing? We're also changing you into ya. How ya? How ya? You can also decide not to fully pronounce the w sound. How. Instead, you could just make more like a ha sound. So it sounds like haya, haya. And finally, doing becomes doin'. That final G sound goes away. So the whole thing becomes how you doin', or how you doin', how you doing? And we say it pretty quickly, almost like one word. How you doing? How you doing? Another casual way to ask someone, how are you, is what's up? Like I said, this is more casual, so more often you would use this with friends, family, or people you are very comfortable with. This is actually the perfect time to mention an interesting thing about American culture. In most places you go in the US, versions of how are you can actually be used like hello. This is not true 100% of the time, of course, and depends a lot on context. But I can give you a very common example. If I see someone, usually someone I don't know at all, or someone I don't know very well, like a familiar neighbor, then a simple exchange might sound something like this. Hey, how are you? Hey, how's it going? And that's it. That's the whole exchange. Nobody answered the question. Instead, another question was returned. But this is completely normal, actually. But the context is important. This exchange would be perfectly okay if both people are not stopping to chat. But it could also be a way to start a conversation. In either case, a quick, how are you? Or, how's it going? Can simply mean hello. Now, you might be wondering, Jean, are there different ways to respond to these questions? Absolutely, there are. You don't have to just say, I'm fine, and you. Let me give you some options. You could say, I'm all right, thanks. Or, I'm good, yeah. Or, I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there is good if you have had some difficulties in your life recently. You could also say, can't complain. You could also say, not bad. These are all very natural ways to respond to how are you? Now, let's assume you want to return the question. You can say, and you? Or you could simply say, you? Or you could say, how about you? So not about, just about. You can cut the off and just say, how about you? You could also say, what about you? What about you? So your textbook teaches you this conversation. Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thanks. And you? Let's make this a little more natural. Here's one version. Hey, how's it going? Good, how are you? Here's another version. Hi, how are you? I'm good, thanks. How about you? Here's another version. Hey, what's up? Nothing much, you? If you're still watching, I want you to write in the comments your version of this exchange. Or if you're shy, that's okay. You can just give me a waving emoji. I hope this lesson was useful for you. Don't forget to practice a little bit every day. Thanks for being here, my friends. Until next time, bye.